Hello everyone, my name is Yanelli and this is my presentation about one of the concepts in nonverbal communication. I'm going to be focusing on oculesics. First and foremost, what I'll be talking about in this presentation is first, the meaning is not always clear. Second, it shows interest. And third, it differs in other cultures. But before I get into that, what is nonverbal communication? What nonverbal communication essentially is, it is messages that are expressed by non-linguistic means, meaning that it is communicating with others without the use of words, and at times these types of communication is more important because what we do says more than what we say. And here's an example of nonverbal communication happening.
What can I get started for you today?
Express yourself.
What size? All right. 3 venti lattes. Would you care for a pastry? Nope. Mocha. 3 mocha lattes. Oof. Double chocolate chip muffin. Yum.
And as you can tell by the video, he was not talking at all. He was only relying on his nonverbal cues, which were mostly gestures and his eyes and facial expressions. And moving on to what oculesics is, it is the study of how the eyes can communicate. The eyes are regarded as a central component of facial expression. The face is said to be the primary source of communication next to verbal communication. Moving on to the first concept that I'll be talking about, which is how the meaning is not always clear. The face is a complicated channel of expressions to interpret, so while it can mean to one thing, the whole meaning can change for another person. Since the eyes and face are the most noticeable part of the body, and many expressions are produced by them, the meanings can be confusing. This is also seen in the classroom based on the article Student Nonverbal Communication in the Classroom by Brock E. Berry, who explains that people differ in their skill in identifying distinct nonverbal cues. So if a student is expressing subtle, troublesome cues, instructors who are not skilled at interpreting nonverbal cues won't get it, or they might get overwhelmed by other nonverbal cues and it ends up being forgotten. Here is another video example.
There are 3 primary theories concerning sediment flow rate. Each of these theories can be further subcategorized into.
And as you can tell by the video, it was kind of confusing what he was showing through his eyes. Like for some, it could seem that he was nervous, but for others, it could be totally different. This is also seen in the medical field, according to the article Nonverbal Communication of Pharmacists During Counseling Leading to Patient Satisfaction by Hazard Fesharaki. He explains how having eye contact between the pharmacist and patient enhances patient trust. If they see the interest in them through the face and eyes, trust is gained and the patient will be more willing to confide in the pharmacist to share personal information. Here's another example.
And before today, you had never heard of me.
No.
And you have no style or sense of fashion.
Well, I think that depends on what you're...
No. That wasn't a question.
I was editor-in-chief of the Daily Northwestern. I also won a national competition for college journalists with my series on the Janitors Union, which exposed the exploitation of... Yeah, okay. You're right. I don't fit in here. I am not skinny or glamorous, and I don't know that much about fashion, but I'm smart. I learn fast, and I will work very hard.
And as you can tell by the video, the eyes were really important in that scene. At first, the lady, she was not really interested or cared for what she had to say. But then, like in the second half, when she said like what she wanted to hear, you could tell like by her eyes that she was getting a little bit interested in her. And moving on to my last concept that I'll be focusing on, which is how oculesics differs in other cultures. The meaning of eye contact is influenced by culture. While it can be normal to us, it might not be normal for other cultures or communities. And according to the article, Nonverbal Carriers to Cross-Cultural Communication by Hicham Saraki, he expresses how in North America eye contact is viewed as a sign of respect, confidence, and sincerity. However, in Middle Eastern cultures, eye contact is less common and considered less appropriate, especially between a man and a woman. And here's another video example about that.
Attention passengers. All is well. Thank you.
Low power shutting down.
Oh, yay!
And you could tell from the video that both of them came from different cultures, and at first they had trouble communicating, but they were able to overcome that, and they had a successful communication. And overall, I talked about what nonverbal communication is, what oculesics is, and the three different concepts that pertain to oculesics, which are the meaning is not always clear, the face and eyes indicate interest, and how it differs in other cultures. The expressions on the face and eyes can be interpreted differently. Gazes and glances show interest, but the type of interest varies. And while eye contact is normal for us, it can be seen as weird or disrespectful in other cultures. Oculesics is very important in nonverbal communication since we tend to use the face and eyes to get a clue on how another person feels about us. So the first expression can dictate the course of our communication, and it could either be good or bad. Well, that is it for my presentation. Thank you for watching. Bye, class.